Hi, and welcome to today's Jesse Spec YouTube video. Today is a big important day because we're going to start the actual process of swapping the engine into the MR2. But as you all know, swapping doesn't just mean putting the engine into the car. There's all the prep work, electrical, mechanical, everything that you have to do to actually physically put the engine into the car. That's the easy part, I think. All the rest is the difficult part. So you will see we'll be going through almost all the steps necessary to actually put finally the engine into the car. I'm warning you, spoiler alert.
There were some challenges.
And some damage was done. So wasn't very lucky on this one, but make sure to watch the whole video. You'll see what I'm talking about. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. Also, as you know, this video is made in a series, so you can click up here. There's the full playlist that allows you actually to see all the build-up before actually starting the actual swap now. So I think it's important also, in order to enjoy this video better, that you actually watch the whole series before. So there will be the playlist up here that you can click on. I highly recommend you look at it before so you can actually understand what I'm doing in this video and actually get a better understanding and enjoy this video better. Welcome back to the warehouse. We're gonna install the 2ZZ today. I hope everything goes well. But before getting into that, I need to install these 3 coolant block-off hoses. I need to install the special oil dipstick tube and put some fresh spark plugs in as well. So let's get into it right now. Okay, I'm going to be putting back also all the ignition coils. I checked them to make sure they're in good condition, and let's just put them back in. Now, putting back also the injectors. These are the 2ZZ injectors. Important. As a reminder, don't forget we will be putting I always put little pieces of paper in the holes to avoid dirt to get in. So always make sure that we reuse the 2ZZ injectors in order to put them with the 1ZZ fuel rail. That's the whole point of the swap. Next, you can see this is the special 2ZZ swap oil dipstick tube. So we're going to reuse the previous dipstick, but we need this hose, or this tube I should say, in order to have actually the possibility to pull it out once the engine is in the MR car. So I'll show you how to do that. The hole is right here. Here you see there's a top place. It will basically go behind right here and plug itself into the hole here with then all that to be placed right here. So here we need to remove one screw. Here we have the 1ZZ dipstick. Put it right away back into here. There we go. See the dipstick popping out right here. Okay, so we have, in theory, we would have to have 3 caps to install on this. The first one is on one of these coolant outlets. The second one would be here. As you see, This shows that on the European Corolla TS we do not need to buy a cap, so I bought one extra and I didn't need to. And to my other surprise, there is another theoretical cap that should be put here, and again on the 2ZZ in the Corolla TS you do not have this outlet, so there's no need for putting the cap here. So that's good news, except for the fact that I bought caps for nothing. So yeah, anyway, let's just add this one main cap. I'm sure I'll be able to use the cap for something else in another usage, but yeah, this just shows that different versions of 2ZZs exist and that they're not all exactly the same. I like twisting hoses with the pliers like this to actually unblock them from their, because usually they stick on it like this, so you can turn them a little bit with a plier. Of course, if you need the hose, do not damage it. And there we go. Here you see this is the place where we have to put on the cap, so I'm going to be doing that now. So here you see this cap. I have the missing, I took this off the hose. I'll put this on and install it right now. It's important to use durable caps, because if you don't, you might really end up in big trouble if one of these hoses busts or the cap busts, and then you have all your coolant shooting straight out of the engine. That's really not good. So when you use these caps or anything, make sure to always take the good quality stuff. There we go. So the cap is on. Now let's put on the clamp and we're good to go. Here we go. This is how it's done. Little detail, important detail, make sure to remove the stock support of the engine mount, because if you do not remove it, due to the new oil gauge tube, you will not be able to install it perfectly. So this is why you have to remove this first from your stock 2ZZ member. As you can see, I had to remove the water pump pulley as well. With the torque wrench, tighten everything. Now, one of the most essential parts of this swap is the installation of this here. This is the new engine mount for the swap. I'm going to be installing that, so As you can see here, I just installed the stock 2ZZ engine mount, but I had to take off half of it, and I will be using this one instead. Put it back on, and then we'll have this is the most actually and essential and the only custom part that you need actually to put the engine, make it hold in the car basically. So let's install it. There we go, it's installed. Now we have everything installed. You can see the two empty holes in the back there on the back of the bracket will be filled with other bolts. I just have to change the ones that I have because the stock ones are too long and they don't fit in there. Okay, so I thought it would be interesting to compare both engines. So here you see the 1ZZ with the full subframe, everything included, and the 2ZZ ready to go in here. Of course, as you can, just to make a short summary of what's going to happen, I'm going to take this engine, put it on this subframe, and I will be taking the transmission, the 6-speed transmission, putting it together and putting everything on this and then into the car over there. So that's the goal. I think it's interesting to have both engines side by side so you actually can see how similar they are, both of them. And so let's get right into it and start swapping everything we need from one engine to the other. For example, the whole electrical part has to go on this engine, a few parts regarding pulleys, etc. as well. So let's dive right into it. I'm keeping the 2ZZ alternator because it's made to be running in higher RPM. So let's use this right away. Alternators back in. Now what are we missing? We are missing the idler pulley from here. So I'm going to be taking apart a few things from here and start swapping them over. Idler pulley from 1ZZ has to go on the 2ZZ. As you see here, we have also the air conditioning compressor. I'm going to be keeping that one. Just need to remove one more bolt. the hoses are a bit different, so it's important to keep them and reuse them.
Plug and play. Doesn't get any better than that.
So to answer the questions I had, if I'm keeping the air conditioning, I am. And it's also for the reason that like this, I don't need to think of a super complicated way to actually find another pulley to actually have the right length for the belt and everything. So that's just what I'm gonna do. I've already put it in provisorily like this. Okay, put this back.
Uh-oh. I messed up.
This is really a big fail. However, in mechanical work, things happen, and instead of thinking about it too much, I'm gonna advance on other things I have to do on the car. In spite of what just happened, let's compare both the 1ZZ as you see right here and the 2ZZ that you see over there in blue. There's one evident difference. This one has an aluminum intake manifold. This one has a plastic intake manifold. The diameters are also slightly different. This is not an essential part of this engine swap. However, I feel it's a super important step in my build because I'm going to be doing circuit racing. So it's very important to have a baffled oil sump in an MR car. And as you can see, the one with the white paste was the one on the 2ZZ that was in a front wheel drive car. And the other one with the red paste is the 1ZZ one that was in my MR2. So this is a really interesting thing to do and install on your 2ZZ swap, is actually keep the oil pan of your 1ZZ in order to install it on your new 2ZZ engine and actually have all the benefits of a baffled sump like most racing engines have. Now, as you can see, I cleaned everything off, and honestly, forget the razor blade, use something like this. Much quicker, less of a hassle, cleans everything up. And if you want to see how much garbage it actually makes, take a look. Look, all this grot that I had to pull out. Damn. Okay, so the next step is now put back the oil pan. As you see, I got the 1ZZ one off of the 1ZZ. It has a really awesome kind of baffle in it, preventing it to get oil starvation. So that's a really important part in the swap. So make sure to get that. I of course cleaned all the paste off. I cleaned the inside the best I could. And now let's put this paste on it and then install it.
Oh my god, it's so plug and play.
Make sure to put the least strong setting, is just to go faster than I'm doing this. Next essential part of the engine swap is taking the 1ZZ engine loom that you removed previously and put it onto the 2ZZ engine. Most plugs all install perfectly. Alright, we have one more key element that we have to address for this swap. As you can see, we have a 1ZZ loom that is finally installed. Also put all the water hoses of the 1ZZ back on in the back as well. The main difference between both engines is one has lift, this one, and the other doesn't have lift. So in order to operate the lift system, since we are using a 1ZZ loom, we need this monkey wrench, or if you can make one yourself, lift harness that you have to use in order to activate the lift function. So we just basically plug in one on each side here. This is for the pressure sensor, and here you have the actuator over here, the lift actuator, and then you can just basically plug both of these plugs in. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slightly pull this cable out a little bit. They made it a tiny bit too short, the cable, so I put it a bit better like this, so it looks aesthetically more pleasing like this. So for the moment this will keep aside, and I'm gonna leave this like this. And we're getting closer and closer to put the engine into the car. As mentioned previously, not all plugs are used. For example, in the 1ZZ loom we have bank 1 and bank 2 for O2 sensors. So in this case, with the 2ZZ components, we only need one O2 sensor. Another very important part are all the grounds, engine grounds, chassis grounds. To make sure to hook them all up, it will save you a lot of time. Once you've done that, you can install your airflow meter onto the adapter. I will be installing the Canon air filter, even though I won't be using that in the future. I'll be using an epoxy one, but at least I have a filter to begin with. The airflow meter adapter might be pointing in another direction later, but that can be changed afterwards. All right, we're back in the office. As you've seen, there was one main hiccup, and it was the first one actually in this whole build that I consider a real problem or hiccup, and I broke this part. Luckily it's available brand new from Toyota, so I ordered it and it's coming from Japan directly. So I hope it'll be here maybe in a week or so, and if that's the case, then I will actually be putting the engine in next week. Until then I cannot do it because, as I will show you now in the footage, it's on the part where it's closest to the side arch on the right, and I could put the engine in right now just for putting the engine in, but as I said in the intro, an engine swap, it's the easy part of putting the engine in. Actually the difficult part is all the prep work to make it fit perfectly. So that's why I'm waiting to put the engine in, because I want to fix this front part so I can just put the engine in and I don't need to go in there with my hands and try to figure out a way how to replace it once it's in the engine. It would be really counterproductive, so I'm not going to be doing that. I hope you understand. I know all of us are really impatient to see the engine in the car, but that's mechanical work, you know. There's always things that happen that are not foreseeable and that happen. Honestly, I have no idea how I broke that. I just tightened it and
it snapped right off.
When I was putting the accessory belt on, when I let go of the tensioner, when it got tight, it pulled on the pulley and it just snapped it off. So, and after, of course, after further investigation, it probably was damaged either when I was taking the engine out or something like that. I don't know. But in any case, it's aluminum. It can happen. It can break. It's an old engine. So yeah, at least I'll be putting a brand new part there. It will look nice as well because it's all brand new. So anyway, I managed to get it also at a very decent price. So I cannot complain. As you realize probably now, this is a really long episode. So I felt like it's the right moment to cut it off for today at this moment. So next week, if the parts are here, everything going well, I will be putting the engine in. But before putting the engine in, I actually will do a transmission prep video. And so you can see also not only how to install the 6-speed into the MR2, but also you will see it's not that easy. You have to do some modifications to the 6-speed to make it fit. But I will also, I saw that on YouTube, there aren't many videos about that, so I will show you my easiest and fastest way to install an LSD in those transmissions. It works also for the 5-speed and the 6-speed. So make sure to check that video. I might actually post that one first next week, like that I can buy a bit more time with the parts arriving from Japan for the engine. But in any case, that will be what's going to be coming up next week. Also, as I mentioned in the intro, you've seen I have a new camera. It's a Canon M50 for the guys who are interested, and with an external microphone. How was the video? Did you see an improvement? Was it better for you to see what's going on in the videos? It was expensive, so I hope it is, but in any case, I hope you're enjoying the videos. If you want to support this channel in any way, there's one very easy thing you can do to begin with is click the thumbs up. Also, if you have questions or remarks or anything you want to share, make sure to comment below. And it's always a bonus. I always appreciate it. But if you can subscribe to the channel so you do not miss upcoming episodes that are going to be really interesting as well, make sure to subscribe. And also, that's another thing I wanted to say. Now that the 1ZZ is out, if any of you, like I gave away the shell of the Corolla last time, I'll be selling the engine to support and pay back the camera that I actually bought, to be honest. I'll be selling a fully functional, in good condition, full engine, 1ZZ engine that even has the dyno sheets, so you can see what was the power that it had. So if anybody out there knows of somebody who wants an engine, of course I'll be doing a good price. My goal is not to make money off that, but just to pay back at least the camera or a part of it. That would be awesome. Hit me up, send me a message, or through Instagram or whatever. My Instagram account, you will find it below in the description. And in any case, I really appreciate all of you guys that are already watching, that are subscribing. I'm getting very positive feedback also of people who are doing the same swap and actually that think that my videos are useful. And I'm really happy because in the end I wanted to find a way how to give back to the community and share some of my humble knowledge, let's say it like that. But this is why I'm doing this whole thing, is I actually like to, I don't just want to make money and sell car parts as my day job, but I also want to give back in one way or the other. And sharing knowledge for me is a very good idea, and I actually enjoy making these videos, of course. So if in any way you want to support the channel or do something or collaborate as well, I'm looking for people who want to work together with me and make new videos. Make sure to contact me. I really appreciate it. And thank you very much for watching this week as well. And make sure not to miss the upcoming videos.